All that now remained was to ask the cooperation of Father and Cuffy and Willie, and that was gladly granted, as they had known it would be. Before long, the house was humming with exciting activity. They'd almost forgotten what fascinating work it was to build a show. Mona wandered about the grounds like Deuce, reciting her lines out loud. Rush practiced furiously. Randy composed 2 dances, one to the Gollywog's Cakewalk and one to the Girl with the Flaxen Hair. Also, she made watercolor sketches of costume designs. There was always a long streak of purple or green at the corner of her mouth, because she couldn't remember not to chew her paintbrush when she was thinking. They had rehearsals every few minutes. Oliver learned his lines first thing and recited them with all the expression of a granite slab. "No, no," Mona would tell him, exasperated. "The way you say, 'Your Highness, the Baron Hackensack demands your immediate execution,' sounds just as if you were saying, 'No, thank you, I don't care for any more corned beef hash.'" Poor Oliver, he tried, but it was obvious that his talents did not lie in the direction of the drama. Rush was wonderful in his part, or rather both his parts, almost as good as Mona herself. And Randy was what theatrical critics describe as adequate. Yards of colored cheesecloth billowed over the office table, and very wet posters executed by Randy lay drying all over the floor. You had to move about with extreme caution. Down in Cuffy's room there was a great overflowing box of odds and ends that Mrs. Oliphant had sent to them some time ago. It was a treasure trove. In it there were crumpled bits of gold and silver lame, hardly tarnished at all, chiffons in purple and green and blue, scraps of lace, beaded georgette, a huge red satin petticoat, a velvet basque the color of a pansy, and 2 large pieces of silk encrusted with sequins. One was gold, and one was midnight blue, dazzling, extravagant things that cried out to be used, worn, admired. In fact, it was really because of the sequins that Mona had first decided to write a play. With such exotic material at hand, it seemed a sin to waste it. The invitations were sent out at once, one to Mrs. Oliphant, of course, one to the Janeway family in New York, and 2 other families there, and to all their Carthage school friends, and the principal, Mr. Coughing, and his wife, and the Wheelwrights, and Mr. and Mrs. Purvis, and several other people. It was too much to hope that they'd all come. Next, they went to work on the program. Rush typed them on Father's machine. The Melendez Christmas Show. 1. Piano Solo by Rush Melendi. Chorale, Johann S. Bach. 2. Dance by Miranda Melendi. Gollywog's Cakewalk, Claude Debussy. 3. Piano Solo by Rush Melendi. Intermezzo, Johannes Brahms. 4. Dance by Miranda Melendi. The Girl with the Flaxen Hair, Claude Debussy. 5. The Princess and the Parsnip, a play in 3 acts by Mona Melendi. Cast of characters: Princess Glamorosa, Mona Melendi; Lady Esmeralda, Miranda Melendi; the Witch Sourpuss, Miranda Melendi; Prince Paragon, Rush Melendi; Baron Hackensack, Rush Melendi; Baron Hackensack's accomplice, Oliver Melendi; Soldier, Oliver Melendi; Messenger, Oliver Melendi; Bloodhound, Oliver Melendi; Second Bloodhound, Isaac Melendi. Scene 1. A forest near Glamorosa's castle. Scene 2. Interior of the castle. Scene 3. The castle roof. Midnight. Randy painted little pictures of Glamorosa on the covers of the programs and stitched the pages together with gold thread. They looked very pretty and professional. There was some debate as to how much admission price they should charge. Mona thought it ought to be $1. For our country and all, she said. $1? Cried Randy, scandalized. Nobody would be able to come. $1 for grown-ups and 50 cents for children, I mean. But even that seemed far too high. In the end, they decided to charge 50 cents for grown-ups and 25 for children. And we could get somebody from school, Pearl Cotton or someone, to take charge of the ticket selling, said Mona.